Hi, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my photography talks. So today I want to talk about the situation when you're like me and you have more than one film camera and you have film in several of them and none of them are finishing up because you keep picking up different cameras. So now that I'm in a new location, a new studio, I'm looking to change the way that I do that. So because you create new ideas when you change things, and my environment has changed, this is the camera I'm using now. This is the film camera I'm using. I'm still using the digital camera for street and for Roy Stryker, things like that. But for my film camera, for a camera that I'm shooting family with and portraits of friends and special moments, this is my M6 with a 50 Summicron. And it's on number 21. And I'm not going to pick up another film camera of mine until this one is shot. I'm also trying to make a change in the way I shoot. I would like to be able to shoot 35 millimeter, a little bit less formally, a little bit more grab maybe. If you've seen any of Elliot Erwitt's work, I have a book of his on New York. And not every photograph is tack sharp. Some of them seem like grab shots that are little moments. And I like the idea of being able to use the 35 millimeter almost like after the days of 4x5 and 8x10 back in the 1920s and 30s, the way they did. They were like, we can take this camera anywhere. It's very much a spontaneous camera. This is a spontaneous camera. It's different than Rolleiflexes and the 4x5 and the 8x10 because the higher, the bigger the format, the more that it takes a little bit more to create that photograph, for me anyway. And I would like to be able to shoot 4x5 on the quick and 8x10 on the quick. And I am certainly working on creating a system that makes it so that it's not as big of a process, because I don't think people have the patience in this phone photography world. I don't think they have the patience to hold still for too long. But I want to shoot the larger formats, but I want to shoot the film out of the cameras that I have now. And I have some in the Rolleiflex. I think there's one frame that's been sitting in there waiting for some time. That Leica has film in it. I don't even know what's on those first 20 shots, which is part of the magic of film, is we forget what's on them. And it may be going back a year or two. It just depends, because I have probably film in, I don't know, 10 or 12 different cameras right now between medium format and 35. I guess you never really have film in a 4x5 or an 8x10 since you load them at the moment of exposure, but the medium format and the 35 I certainly do. And I want to burn those through. I want to make it so that in the future I try not to get so many going at once, and I finish a roll and then I load a new roll into a different camera and I use that whole roll. And we'll see how that works. In about 6 months or a year, I might do another video going, yeah, that didn't happen at all. And now I've got 15 cameras running. But there's a beauty to having choices in film photography. And there's also a challenge sometimes. Too many choices can be too many choices. And as much as I love all the different cameras, I want to work one to completion before I go load more film into a different one. But they always change a little bit. Things come into your consciousness, or you get gifted a camera that you really want to shoot now. And that changes things. But we'll see how that works out for me. That's my new goal now that there's a new location that I'm working out of. So, do you film in more than one camera? And how do you deal with it? Maybe some folks will have better situations and plans on how they manage it. In my studio, I have a shelf with just 35 millimeter cameras in cases, a shelf for medium format cameras, and a shelf for large format. And then a separate shelf for like video and things that I do for production work. And the 35 millimeter setup isn't like lined up in order that things have film in them. Maybe I need to do that. Or maybe there could be an extra shelf that was like, okay, these are all the go-to cameras. These are the ones you're using right now. And then they get back onto the shelf once they're empty. We'll see how that works out. All right, that's today's photography talk. Talking about film. Film left in cameras, waiting for their day to present their photographs. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you can support, hit the Patreon. And thanks so much for watching. I look forward to bringing you photography talks. Here's the good light.